Hello everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to another Pokemon TCG video. It's been a while, but we're back and we're going to jump into a deck that's been doing pretty well at City Championships so far. A Mega Manectric fighting deck, but it's going to be mostly Landorus EX for the fighting Pokemon. So Landorus EX, we'll take a quick look at him. Most people should know what he does by now. Extremely strong Pokemon. Hammerhead does 30 and 30 to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. And that's really the attack you're going to be using most of the time. That's just very strong, 30 to the active, 30 to a benched Pokemon. But we also get things like Strong Energy, which can make it 50 damage for 1 energy, and Muscle Band, which can make it 70 damage for 1 energy, and Fighting Stadium against Pokemon EX, we can hit for 90 damage for a single energy card, and 30 to the bench. So that's really, really good. So Landorus is going to be your main focus in a lot of matchups. This card is just overwhelming for a lot of decks. Just being able to hammerhead for massive amounts of damage and set up things on the bench to be knocked out as well. For 1 energy, you really can't get much more efficient than that. And then the second attack is really good as well. Land's Judgment does 80, and then if you discard all your fighting energy, you do 70 more. So this is kind of a cleanup attack if you need one big knockout, just one giant attack to take out a Pokemon in one hit. Land's Judgment is great for that. So Landorus EX is going to be the main focus here, but we need a partner because Landorus doesn't deal with everything very well, and that partner is going to be Mega Manectric EX. This is becoming a very popular card, mainly because, well, first of all, it deals with Yveltal EX really well, and that's one of the cards that Landorus struggles with big time because of the fighting resistance. But Mega Manectric has the type advantage over Yveltal EX, and it's a great energy accelerator. Turbo Bolt does 110, and then you get 2 basic energy back from the discard onto one of your benched Pokemon. That is incredibly good. We can actually power up Land's Judgment with that, and that's just great synergy. Do 110 damage, maybe knock something out, and then power up a Landorus to get a big one-hit knockout with a Land's Judgment. It's great. It also serves as a counter to Pyroar. We haven't seen Pyroar too much anymore. It seems to be kind of dying out, and that's because of Mega Manectric. It is an evolution. It does 110 damage, the perfect amount to take out a Pyroar. So Mega Manectric is great. We're actually going to be running a 3-2 line. Manectric EX on its own is a pretty good card. Overrun 20 and 20. It's a decent attack. Not as good as Hammerhead, but it's decent. And then Assault Laser does 60 plus 60 if they have a Pokemon tool attached. And, sometimes you don't even need to Mega Evolve to get a big knockout. So you can Assault Laser, say you were facing an Yveltal EX with a Muscle Band on it. Assault Laser will do 120 times 2 and knock that thing out. It's really strong, so keep in mind that Manectric EX can attack even without Mega Evolving. Our other 3 Pokemon we got in here, we got a Hawlucha, a great 1 energy attacker, really good against Seismitoad EX. Flying Press, 60. It only works against Pokemon EX, but it has free retreat, makes it awesome. 70 HP, not the most powerful thing, not the most durable thing, but good enough. With a strong energy, Fighting Stadium, Muscle Band, you'll be impressed how much damage this thing can rack up. We have 1 regular Landorus. Shout of Power is a great way to do a little bit of damage, set up for a knockout, and then get an energy back into play. It's really worth running one of these. And Sky Lariat can be used sometimes. It doesn't happen too often, but keep that in mind. And then the last non-EX attacker we're going to have is Terrakion. Retaliate can do 90 for 2, and so can Land Crush for 3 energy. The same 90 damage. Now with Strong Energy and Muscle Band, again, you'll be surprised just how much damage this kind of thing can do. It's a non-EX basic Pokemon, and it can get some big knockouts. Now, I've seen Lucario EX used in this deck as well. Personally, I'm not a fan of the Lucario EX. I think it's a little underwhelming, but you can run one of those as well. You could easily cut a Landorus or the 3rd regular Manectric for Lucario EX if you want to. That's your call. Let's take a look at the rest of the trainers for the deck. We have the standard 4 Professor Juniper, 4 N, 2 Lysander, 2 Colress, and 2 VS Seeker. I feel like this is pretty standard for nowadays, but a lot of decks struggle with, finding the last supporter to run. Because honestly, just running this isn't really enough. You need something like, some decks run Jirachi EX, that helps out a lot. Some decks run Bicycle. Some people run Shauna or Skyla. I'm not the biggest fans of those cards right now. But this deck has the benefit of running Karina, that the last supporter, that extra supporter you need for that final consistency boost of your deck. It allows you to grab a fighting Pokemon and an item card, just a really solid card for any fighting deck. So I love Karina in this deck. It is great. It can grab, well, let's take a look at all the different items. We've already seen, I don't know if I did look at the Spirit Link, but it allows you to Mega Evolve into Mega Manectric without ending your turn, and that is a huge deal. If you get a Spirit Link down and you Mega Evolve without ending your turn, that's just a huge advantage, because think of how bad it is to lose your turn just to evolve. We see Muzzle Band, a common target for Karina as well. Adding 20 damage is ridiculous. We have 3 Ultra Ball, 3 Switch, and 1 Escape Rope. We need a lot of switching cards in this kind of a deck because Landorus is really heavy. He's got a 3 retreat cost, and Terrakion has a 4 retreat cost, so you're really not going to move him without a switching card. He is planted in the active spot. We have Professor's Letter, just a great way to search out basic energy. Karina for the Professor's Letter. Voila, you have a fighting Pokemon, and you have energy, instant offense. Max Potion is great for healing off a Pokemon, and the discarding energy doesn't always hurt you so much because Mega Manectric can Turbo Bolt and get those energy right back. We have Computer Search for the A-Spec card, another great card with Karina. Grab Computer Search, get whatever you want. And 2 Enhanced Hammer. Now this is a big deal in this deck, I think, because a lot of decks rely on special energy. Donphan is a big one. If you can discard their strong energy, their damage output gets pretty low. And if you can discard Double Colossus off an Yveltal EX, the damage output gets pretty low as well. So Enhanced Hammer is great for slowing your opponent down. An extremely powerful card. Our energy, it's going to be a little weird. We have the 4 strong energy. You need that with fighting Pokemon. You'd be silly not to run these. And then 5 fighting energy on top of that. So 9 total energy that can provide fighting. And then 4 lightning energy just so we can power up Manectric EX and Mega Manectric EX. Now the energy may seem a little low considering 4 of them are strong. But keep in mind you can Turbo Bolt and get them back. So there's always that benefit. So here you have it. Just this is going to look like a lot of the lists you'll see in tournament play. I think a lot of lists will look like this, maybe a couple cards off, but from what I've seen, this is pretty similar to what I've faced, and I actually faced this deck a ton at City Championships. So I've seen maybe a heavier Mega Manectric line, or not as many of the non-EX Pokemon, but for the most part, this is what the deck will look like. So let's go ahead and jump into Pokemon TCG Online and check out a game I played there. Hopefully we don't get paired up with a Combi deck and have my opponent scoop immediately. That would be a bummer. Looks like I'm going to mulligan, and we see Metal Energy and Crushing Hammer. Verbank, Laser, Mega Manectric, Jamming Net. I have no idea what I'm facing, but that could be a good thing. That'll be interesting. Alright, so we see Manectric EX versus Landorus. That's a great opening for me. Jamming Net, though? That's not a good opening. Alright, well, that actually nerfs Landorus a lot. Wow. So Jamming Net reduces all damage I do with Landorus EX by 20. So I would do 20 less to the active, and then 20 less to the benched Pokemon as well. Wow, that really neutralizes Landorus EX. That's pretty crazy. If I put a fighting energy on right now and used Hammerhead, I'd do 20 and 10. And that is downright awful. Alright. So my good start went downhill very quickly. We actually see an Outraged Kyurem on the bench as well. Not quite sure what to make of this. And an Aegislash EX, so we are certainly going up against something a little unorthodox. I think we can say that much. I'm going to go with the Karina right away. We'll grab, I guess we can grab a Hawlucha. It seems like a pretty innocent Pokemon to put down on the board. And having free retreat is always nice. And then I'm going to take a Professor's Letter at this point. We'll go ahead and grab that. And we should have a pretty strong opening here, I would think. I'm going to grab, maybe a Fighting Energy and a Lightning Energy. And we'll Ultra Ball for the regular Manectric EX. And get that into play with the Spirit Link. And go from there. Seems pretty good. At least I think so. So let's discard. We'll discard an N and a Fighting Energy. It's nice to get an energy in the discard for Turbo Bolt. And then we'll take Manectric EX. And we'll switch into the Manectric EX. And I'll actually overrun here. This will be a nice little setup play. We'll get the Spirit Link on so we don't see any more jamming net or anything. And then we'll hit the Kyurem for 20. So when I Mega Evolve, I can Turbo Bolt for 110 and finish it off. Seems pretty good, right? I think so. Alright, so even though the jamming net did hit me, it looks like we're going to, still have a nice turn 1 here. Now we see a Lightning Energy go on to the active Manectric EX, and an Energy Switch. Did not expect that. So now, that's going to be a little brutal, actually. An Assault Laser can hit me here. And what? Oh, no. Crushing Hammer. Hypnotoxic Laser. Oh, no. What is going on here? Things were looking fine and dandy, and then this. What is this? Assault Laser. We saw an Energy Switch. We saw Crushing Hammer, Hypnotoxic Laser. All sorts of crazy stuff coming out right there. I'm not too happy about it. Fortunately, I did top deck a Juniper for the turn, and we got a pretty solid hand here. I'm going to go ahead with the Muscle Band and the Strong Energy onto the Landorus EX, and I was hoping for a Fighting Stadium, but I didn't get it. Fortunately, I can Mega Evolve and get the free retreat. Oh man, that was actually a really big bummer. Not getting the Fighting Stadium. I'm 10 short of a knockout. That's brutal. And the only logical target here with Hammerhead is that Manectric EX on the bench. Hitting Kyurem would be like a Death Wish. Can't hit Aegislash because I have a special energy. And so yeah, that Manectric is the obvious choice. Alright, so my opponent's going to retreat, Energy Switch, and Max Potion. Are you kidding me? I can't win. Everything I do is just shut down immediately by my opponent, apparently. Oh, alright. So we see an N from my opponent, and the Energy Switch, and the energy's just moving everywhere. What is happening here? Nothing is what it seems. My opponent is full of tricks here, and I don't like them. I do not like the tricks I am seeing. It is ugly right now. And we see a Dowsing Machine, going to be for Hypnotoxic Laser. So that's going to, this is just not good at all. Outrage for 80, and then, I guess 70, or no, 80, and then the additional 30. Man, this is, the Crushing Hammer really messed with me. If I were able to get a Turbo Bolt off at some point, I feel like this would be all fine and dandy, but no, this is just bad. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and VS Seeker for Karina here. We're going to grab the Landorus. And, I don't know if I should have taken the Karina. I didn't want to take an N because my opponent only has one card. Juniper, I feel like I'd have to discard stuff I don't want to, so come on with the Karina. And here I can take VS Seeker, Computer Search, or Switch, or even Max Potion wouldn't be bad. I could do that and heal off my Mega Manectric. That could be a good play, I think. I think I might go for Switch here. I kind of want to save this Landorus EX, and maybe I could Shout of Power, get an energy back into play. Seems okay, I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll do this. It might not be the best play in the world, but nothing else really seems good right here. At least the 20 could set up Another strong energy could get a 90 damage Hammerhead knockout. And we're going to get the energy onto Mega Manectric to Turbo Bolt next turn. So it could be worse, I suppose. It could be. Alright, so we see the last card of my opponent's hand was a Professor Sycamore. And another Crushing Hammerheads. Get out of here, man. I am tired of this already. Oh, it is so annoying. Oh my goodness. It's going to discard my Lightning again, and I just cannot get going on my Mega Manectric. What am I supposed to do here? So this was like the worst case scenario right here. That was awful. So now my Landorus gets knocked out, and my energy gets discarded. Man, what's a guy to do here? This is just not looking pretty at all. Alright, well, I top decked a Colress, so that was a nice thing. Was really hoping to Turbo Bolt. I think I might Ultra Ball here and discard the Enhanced Hammer. It's clear my opponent doesn't play any special energy. And then we'll discard Mega Manectric, I guess. I don't think I'll have another turn to Mega Evolve it at any point. And I think I discarded my other Spirit Link at some point. So this seems like the best thing to do here. Here I have the strong energy. I guess I can use this to Hammerhead and finally knock out this Kyurem. It would walk into a Mewtwo knockout, but I don't know if I particularly mind that. Because beyond, knocking this Landorus out, the Mewtwo's not going to do a whole lot. So let's just go with the Hammerhead for 90. And then I guess we'll hit the Mewtwo for 30. And after all this work, I get one prize. How ridiculous is that? One prize. We do see a Head Ringer go on to the Manectric EX. Another Flare tool. Yikes. Man, I need to start running Tool Retriever, I guess. We do see a VS Seeker for the Professor Sycamore, and both of those Manectric EX do have Spirit Links, so they could Mega Evolve at any second. Another Crushing Hammer Heads. How ridiculous is this? That's 3 in a row. But I have to wonder if that will be entirely relevant. It can only discard from my active. And I assume Landorus is going down. No, my opponent misses an energy drop. Look at that. And is forced to promote the Aegis Slash EX. And I stay asleep. Gotta love Hypnotoxic Laser and Crushing Hammer, huh, guys? 2 of my least favorite cards in the game. Alright, well, let's Karina. I was hoping to get a switch here, but the last one is prized. So instead, we're going to go for the old Max Potion. Heal off 150 from my Mega Manectric. And I think that's all I can really do here. I could bench another Landorus. Don't feel like that's the greatest idea. I already have one big dude with a 3 retreat cost. I don't want to bench another one when I don't have any switch left. So keeping the retreat cost in mind is a pretty big deal. My opponent's going to play a Colress here for 7 cards, and this is brutal just seeing that. My opponent can pass with an Aegis Slash active and knock me out. That's almost insulting. But, as poorly as this game has gone, the jamming net right away, the crushing hammers, the lasers, the energy switches, the whirlwind, that has been my opponent's game so far. We're still in this. My opponent's going to take a 2-prize lead here, but it is not over by any means. We have a lot of ways to go in this game. I have no damage on any of my other Pokemon. That Howlucha might be a liability at some point, but, I'm not sure. This can go a lot of ways. So I have a Lysander here. I could bring out one of those benched EXs, but if I do, I leave my opponent with an 8-card hand, and I don't really want to do that. So I think I'll be happy just softening up this Aegis Slash, and we'll play an N here. I'll get 5, my opponent gets 3, and I'll just Turbo Bolt for 110 and grab 2 Fighting Energy out of the discard and attach them to the Landorus EX. So that's instant threat. If Manectric EX wants to come out, he can get hit in the face by a Land's Judgment, and I'll be happy with that. So things are starting to turn around. You can see just 1 Turbo Bolt is all we need. If your opponent just doesn't Crushing Hammer away your energy over and over, this could have happened a lot sooner, but, well, it is what it is. So we do see Manectric EX getting the 2nd energy here, getting all powered up. Will we see the Mega Manectric? If we see Mega Manectric, I'm going to be a little worried. That could cause some major problems. Could get another Pokemon powered up. I'm not looking forward to that. But we just see the Assault Laser for 120. That I can deal with. And now I think it's time to bring out the big guns. So that jamming net is super annoying on Landorus. If I hit a Strong Energy and a Muscle Band, I'll actually knock out Manectric without discarding for Land's Judgment. And I don't think I can afford to discard. I have my last switch in my prizes. So if I discard my 2 Fighting Energy, I'm left with a Landorus with a jamming net active, and I don't want that. I could risk it and just try to get the switch out of the prizes and then go for another Turbo Bolt next turn. But I think I would rather just Lysander and take a knockout without discarding. Now, Manectric EX on the bench is 140 HP. I think jamming net is before weakness, though. So let's take a look. Yes. That's before weakness in resistance, so that would have been a big blunder. Instead, we're going to go for the Aegislash EX. It has 60 HP left. Land's Judgment, no discard, and take the knockout. So I think it's going to be a little difficult for my opponent to kind of close this game out. Landorus is not going to go down easily. It has 180 HP, resists lightning. You know, I kind of like my odds. I think he's a pretty good candidate to survive the turn. So I don't know. This is still going to be close, folks. It is going to be extremely close. We do see an Ultra Ball. This could be the turn where we see the Mega Manectric. I don't think we've seen one yet. Maybe one was discarded at some point. But if my opponent has one, that would be a great time. No, there's no Mega Manectric. What is happening here? That is extremely confusing. We do have a Lysander, though, and that's going to bring out my Mega Manectric, which has just 90 HP left. And there's the Assault Laser. So my opponent will go down to a single prize here. And we're starting to get a little scary. Now, how do I want to approach this? I'm certainly going to have to knock out this Manectric this turn. Seems like there's no other real option. So I want to do that somehow. Now, what do I want to do, though? If I attach the Strong Energy to my Landorus with the jamming net, I can then draw a Fighting Stadium and win the game. Well, not win the game, but pretty much lock up the game outside of a Lysander Howlucha knockout. The point is I wouldn't have to discard my energy. And if I don't have to discard my energy, I can simply Land's Judgment and knock something else out on the following turn. So I think I'm just going to go for it. We'll just go ahead and attach this Strong Energy. I only have 13 cards left. There's a Fighting Stadium and a Computer Search left. So I got a pretty decent chance of getting it. Even if I miss, though, I'm still not out of it. I don't lose completely. So I think this is definitely worth going for. And all right, we got the Computer Search. I can't remember the Fighting Stadium is in my deck, though. Oh, there it is. First card. All right. There it is. Fighting Stadium. We're going to drop a Muscle Band onto the Landorus EX on the bench as well. So there's no head ringer or jamming net shenanigans with that. And Land's Judgment, no discard. 200 damage straight up. Get my 2 prizes. Got the switch out of the prizes. There it is. So there won't be any real nonsense here, I don't think. And you know that Landorus is able to knock out Mewtwo and Manectric. As long as it survives the turn, we are good. And it would be pretty difficult for my opponent to knock him out. The only way I can lose here is like Lysander, onto Hawlucha, Verbank, and Laser. That would do it. But no, we just see an X-Ball for 120 damage. And that means we can finish this crazy game off with a Land's Judgment, discarding the energy, 170 damage. Goodbye, Mewtwo. And even though we got hit by a jamming net, there's a head ringer in there, there's a crushing hammers, energy switches, max potions, everything my opponent could throw at me, we still managed to overcome the odds and win this game. Thanks to the bulky Landorus EX and some big Land's Judgment. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will certainly have some more for you soon. I am Pooka from the Top Cut, and I'll see you guys next time.